Week 17 is in the books. Let's see the Week 17 recap. So first we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders. And in this game, Dallas gets their win, and that puts them one game ahead in their division to take the lead. They still have to close out in Week 18, but this was a big win for them, and it kept the Commanders from even having a chance at the division. Had the Commanders won, they would have been up there for the division. Then you got the Ravens versus the Packers. And so it was the Green Bay Packers who come away with the victory. Brock Osweiler defeating Peyton Manning. It was a cold and snowy game, but it was the Packers winning by 3. Packers are up there with the Vikings. And actually, I think they just took the lead in that division because all of a sudden the Minnesota Vikings lose to the Detroit Lions. They do have their invisible running back there who ran all over them, 31-14. The Detroit Lions, who were originally out of the playoffs, are right here in the mix, and they are in the 7th seed currently. Then you got the Chiefs versus the Broncos. Another division matchup here. We see the handoff to Dre Archer, and the Denver Broncos come away with a victory. Chiefs fall to 9-7. They're still the 6th seed in the playoffs, but they are more vulnerable now. Broncos 28 over Chiefs 7. Then we got the Houston Texans taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. There we have Aaron Rodgers coming through and just beat down the Texans. Both teams were vying for that first seed. The Chargers right now are temporarily in the first seed after this victory, defeating a likely playoff opponent in this upcoming postseason. Then you got the New England Patriots falling to the Jets, and this is a huge loss for them. Had they won, they probably would have been pretty locked in for a wild card seed, but now the Patriots sit 8th in the AFC playoff picture outside the playoffs. They need some teams to lose, and they need a win next week against the number 1 Miami Dolphins. So we'll see if that happens. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Carolina Panthers. And it was the Seahawks who come away with the victory. Matthew Stafford gets the touchdown here. They move up to 11-5. They are the number 1 team in the NFC. Panthers fall 6-10. We might see some changes there. John Fox on the hot seat after many, many seasons with the Panthers. Then you got the Giants versus the Raiders. And both teams trying to get into the playoff picture. And it was the Oakland Raiders who, as you can see, I think that was Courtney Upshaw, I believe. Yeah, Upshaw getting the sack fumble there, defeating the Giants 24-21. Raiders are now in the playoff picture instead of the Patriots, and we will see how Week 18 goes for these final spots. All right, everybody, let's get to the full week recap. You saw the Chargers-Texans game. Now, the Buccaneers beat the Miami Dolphins, so they were the first seed. Now the San Diego Chargers are. So the Buccaneers with 3 touchdowns by Gabbert, 2 touchdowns by McFadden, 114 yards. Gabbert even ran a touchdown in. The Buccaneers defeat the Dolphins 42-30, basically anchoring the Buccaneers' playoff position there in the NFC South. Dolphins now move to the 2nd seed, which makes the Week 18 matchup against the Patriots one they want to win to be the number 1 seed with the bye, and the Patriots can be knocked out of the playoffs firmly if they do. The Browns beat the Steelers and knocked them out of the playoffs, or at least I guess maybe Pittsburgh has a slim chance, depending on who loses in the Week 18. But they have to win next week against the Baltimore Ravens. But Pryor, with only 125 yards, but he ran for 72 and 2 touchdowns, just absolutely defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-10. Big game there for the Browns over the Steelers. Then we saw the Patriots and the Jets 31-7. You saw the Seahawks trouncing the Panthers. Raiders over Giants, Cowboys over Commanders, Lions over Vikings. That was a big win for them because now Detroit is the 7th seed in the NFC. And so if it ended today, they are in the playoffs. But we do have that last week to play, and we'll see how they stand at the end of the season. You saw Broncos over Chiefs. Now the 49ers crushed the Bears, going 10-6. They are going to be having a tough game against the Seahawks in the final game. Maybe they have a way of winning the NFC West, but 49ers should easily be in the playoff picture as a wild card. I think they are. And then you got the Packers over the Ravens. So Ravens having an abysmal year. Rams over the Falcons by 3 points. Not very kind of a close game there, but Rams get to 9-7, which helps them in the playoff picture. And then let's see, we've got the Buffalo Bills falling to the Eagles. Had the Bills won, that could have knocked the Patriots to being 4th in the division. We'll see if the Bills have a chance at making the playoffs if they win and certain teams lose. But not bad rookie year for Marcus Mariota, and Joe Philbin as their head coach. Colts defeat the Jaguars. So Colts move up a little bit in the draft there. So they were 4-10 or 4-11, excuse me. Now they're 5-11. Jacksonville falls to 6-10. We got the Cardinals defeating the Bengals. So Bengals are, I think, the second worst team in the league. And then you got the Cardinals at 6-10. And then the Saints over the Titans. Saints going 7-9 and Titans 3-13. Some news there if you wanted to check that out. I know Mark Ingram had, DeMarco Murray had 5 rushing touchdowns. So he's the top performer, no doubt. 154 yards, 5 touchdowns. He scored every touchdown in the 49ers game. Nick Perry had 3 sacks apparently against Pittsburgh, so that's pretty impressive. McNabb had a good game. He's had some struggles this season, but this could very well be the old man. I think he's 38, his last season, unless he sticks around for year 39. Rookies, underperformers. Richardson only had 6 yards against Denver. That's crazy. You had Garoppolo struggling against the Rams. You had Baldwin, who didn't get a catch at all in the loss against the Colts. And then you have Greg Jennings, who was traded to the 49ers, only getting 28 yards. But as you can see, it was a running back performance on that game. So here we are. I'll slowly go through injuries so you can see who the injured players are. Transactions, I think we signed a few people from the Patriots. So Rivas got extended, Zastradil. The Eagles had an injury. I forget which one it was. Was it Wesley John? No. It was someone that would have required them to... Oh, Gabe Jackson is out for season with a torn pectoral. So they sign Alex Boone, the 79 overall star guard, to kind of fill that void. So looking at the standings. AFC East, again, they are a very competitive division. They have a chance to have all of their teams with a 500 and plus record if the Bills win. That's a very competitive and very good division. And this is very different than in real life, where the Patriots basically just destroyed the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills every year because they were so bad. But in my franchise, they are so much better. Newton has clinched that playoff spot, and it's the Jets and the Patriots fighting for that next playoff position. But the Patriots have to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins want to be number 1, so that's going to be a tough game. Dolphins could knock the Patriots out of the playoffs completely. However, if they win, there's a good chance the Patriots could make the playoffs because the Chiefs and the Raiders are 9-7, and they play each other. So if these two teams play each other and one wins, obviously, they would be 10-7 and 9-8. So if the Patriots beat the Dolphins and they go 10-7, that could put them into the playoff picture and recover from the season. Now, Pittsburgh, they're 8-8. If they win, they need one of these teams to lose, and I don't know how their division shakeup is. I guess they're 3-2 in the division. If they beat Baltimore, they'll be 4-2. So they might be able to get past this other team for that playoff spot, but we don't know. Ravens out, Bengals out. Then we got the Texans. They are clearly in the lead there. They're 3-2 in the division. I don't know who they play next, but they're probably, I think it's the Colts or something like that, maybe. But the Texans, let's just say they are, they might even bench their starters for this game and just not get Michael Vick or anyone hurt as they try to ascend into the playoffs. Jaguars are, I don't know why they're 6-10. I think they said 7-9 on the other thing. So yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars are actually 6-10. Colts are 5-11. Titans 3-13. They have locked down the number 1 overall pick. Brett Hundley has not won a single game, so I guess they're going to go with probably Jared Goff with that first overall pick, depending on who their new coach is. Chargers now number 1 seed in the league, and they have the Raiders and Chiefs fighting for that playoff spot, playoff positioning. Broncos are 7-9. They'll try to end 8-9, close to 500. Now, Dallas is 9-7, but they're not locked in yet. It looks like they have to see how their game goes next week. Cowboys and Giants, both fighting for that number 1 seed in the East. Commanders were 7-8. They could have been able, if they beat Dallas, they would have been 8-8, competing for the division with the 8-8 Cowboys. But since they lost, now I think they're out. Eagles are 6-10. Packers ahead, but then you got the Lions who surpassed the Vikings. So it's anyone's division right now. They're 1-4 in the division. That's pretty pitiful. Lions are probably the reason they're so successful is they are 4-1 in their division. Then you got the Bears 6-10 right behind them, completely out of the playoff picture. Then you got the Buccaneers 10-6. And we'll have to see if the Saints are even competitive for the division, the wild card. I think they're probably really far out because you got 2 teams with 8 wins, another team with 8 wins. 49ers have locked in that wild card seed, and they're just trying to see if they can win the division. So yeah, I think they are. I don't think they're officially out, but they're pretty darn close. The Falcons and Panthers 6-10. Then you got the Seahawks, 49ers, and even the Rams should be in the playoffs. I mean, the Rams probably will lock down one of those playoff seeds. I think they're the number 1 playoff, a wild card seed, other than the 49ers. They're the second because they have 9 wins, and then 6-10 Cardinals. When we look at league leaders, we got Tom Brady, Rodgers, Manning, Dalton, and Roethlisberger with the top 5 of passing yards. Then you got touchdowns, 37 for Newton, 35 for Rodgers, Brady, Carr, and Alex Smith tied at 4. Interception, we got Flacco leading the league. Not looking good for the veteran quarterback who's been with the Panthers ever since he was drafted in 2008. He had the first year off because Rich Gannon was the quarterback. After sitting for 1 year, he was the quarterback ever since. But now he's kind of leading a bad team now, and they might have a new coach, so we'll have to see what Flacco's future looks like. Carr is sitting there at 27 interceptions. Bengals might have the number 2 overall pick. They could get Carson Wentz, and so we have to decide, do the Bengals go with a playmaker like Zeke Elliott, or do they go with quarterback and try to and maybe trade Derek Carr away? Then you got McNabb, who is 24 interceptions, the old man, Colt McCoy, and Blake Bortles, top 5 in throwing picks. Who is the most sacked guy? Tom Brady, okay. Yeah, Patriots. He's the number 1 passing leader. He's got one of the top touchdowns, but he's also most sacked, so that's rough. McNabb is most sacked with Vic, Tannehill, and Winston. Now rushing, we got Chris Johnson, Javid Best, McFadden, McCoy, and Foster, top 5. I know by 5 yards is DeMarco Murray. He picked up 154 some yards in that last game. We see Pryor as a quarterback is in the top 10, which is crazy for a quarterback. Now, Johnson got his first touchdown in a couple of weeks. He was at 20 touchdowns for a couple of weeks there. Finally gets another rushing touchdown, so 21. You got Doug Martin with 19, Murray 17, and then tied for 4th is Darren McFadden and Jonathan Stewart. 20-plus yards rushes is Terrell Pryor with 24, so the quarterback is the one doing that work. Broken tackles, we've got McCoy, Martin, Forte, McFadden, and Peterson. And Mr. Fumbles is Michael Vick with 6, Kaepernick, Stewart, Terrell, Pryor, McKinnon, and Goodson, all there with 4 or more. Receiving, we got, the yards is Wallace, Olsen, Beckham, Jr., Josh Gordon, and Calvin Johnson, Jr. Those are the yard leaders, and we have up the top 9 have over 1,000 receiving yards. So Cooper, Fitzgerald just needs 15 yards. We'll get him that. Dorsett, the rookie, is doing pretty well. Diggs, the rookie, and Beckham, the rookie, are all doing pretty well. Actual receptions is Beckham Jr., Landry, Olsen, Hardy, and Sanders. We look at touchdowns. Calvin Johnson Jr. has 15, tied with the rookie Diggs, with Mike Wallace, Beckham Jr., Landry finishing the top 5. Fitzgerald and Thomas there with 11. We look at drops. Meacham, Wallace, that's not great. Safarian Jenkins, Sammy Watkins, Fitzgerald, and Holmes with double-digit drops this season. Tackles, we got Southward, Wilson, Pollard, Moore, and Taylor Mays. Tackle for losses, we got Von Miller and the rookie Fowler, Khalil Mack, Mark Anderson, Jason Pierre-Paul. Sack leaders here. We got Miller with 17 solo, 11, and then we got Vernon, Timmons. Well, I guess total is better, I think. Vernon, Timmons, Irvin, and Fowler all have 11. Everett Brown and Mingo, 10.5. Paul and Kiwanuka, 9.5. Khalil Mack, 9. So that's your top 10. Safety, I think it's just Cliff Averill. Forced fumbles, you got Michael Griffin, Kuechly, DeQuell Jackson, Everett Brown, and Brandon Graham, which I guess technically Everett Brown all the way through Levante David have 3. Fumble recoveries is just 2. Is Morgan all the way through Curtis Lofton. Defensive touchdowns here. is Weddle and D'Amico Ryans. There's a few touchdowns here too, so I don't know how that's determined. But we have 4 players with 6 interceptions. Haha, Clinton Dix, Barry, Quinn, and Southward. Then we got a bunch of 5s from Sean Smith through Bobby Wagner. Touchdowns here we see Shamarko Thomas, Ashton Yabuti, and then a good number have just 1 touchdown this season. Pass deflections, we got Kason, Taylor, Wagner, Bentley, and Micah Hyde. When we look at the award races, it's Harbaugh and Peyton, and then even Mike Pettin over there. Then you got Newton, Johnson, Pryor, Johnson, Murray, Foster, Von Miller, Wagner, Southward. Southward, that's interesting. And then, well, I guess he does have a lot of interceptions this year. Diggs, Todd Gurley, and Cooper, top 3 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. So probably it'll be Diggs and Gurley for NFC, AFC. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we got Fowler, Quan Alexander, Adrian Amos. No AFC player in the top 5 there. Quarterback, we got Newton, Rogers, Vick. We got Johnson, Murray, McFadden, Wallace, Johnson, Diggs. Von Miller, probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Fowler, Irvin, Timmons, Mack, Mingo, Southward, Glover, Quinn, and Eric Berry. Now, the draft order, as it currently is, we got the Titans with the number 1 overall pick, and they've locked that down. And they picked up those 2 draft picks, the 3rd and the 6th round, by trading away Greg Jennings to the Niners. Bengals looking at number 2. I guess there's a chance if the Bengals beat the Browns and the Colts also lose, the Colts might go back up to 2. And the Colts really wanted Carson Wentz. So we'll have to see if I know that they played themselves out of that Wentz pick potentially. Eagles 6-10, Cardinals 6-10, Ravens 6-10, Bears, Panthers, Falcons, and they picked up. They got these picks 4th and 5th round by trading for Peyton Manning mid-year. Trading away Manning to the Ravens, excuse me. You got the Jaguars 10, Saints, Commanders picked up the 1st round pick when they traded back in order to allow the Bills to trade up to get Marcus Mariota. And what's funny about this trade is that the Bills traded up to get Marcus Mariota, and the Commanders were going to pick Dante Fowler Jr. anyways, and now Dante Fowler Jr. is going to be Rookie of the Year and probably a defensive force to be reckoned with. They also have that random 7th round pick there by the Seahawks. Trying to remember what that was about. Broncos, Vikings, Steelers. Sorry, I clicked on it. Then you got the Giants, Lions, Patriots. They gave up their 4th round pick to the Packers. I don't forget who that was for. But Patriots hoping to sneak into the playoffs here. Jets, they gave up their 5th round pick. I think that might have been in the LeSean McCoy trade. They acquired from the Packers last season. You got Chiefs, you got the Packers. They got 2 more draft picks. As you can see, they gave away the Jets pick. Yeah, that was part of the McCoy trade. You got the Rams, Raiders, Cowboys, 49ers. They gave up their 3rd and 6th. Browns, don't expect to see the Browns picking at 27. That's amazing. Buccaneers, Texans, Dolphins, Seahawks, and Chargers. So there you have it. We got the last game of the season for each team starting next week. So thanks for watching the episode. If you like this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more updates. When I get to the playoffs, I will be showing the gameplay of each wildcard divisional game. I tend to show more of the championship games, and then I show the entire Super Bowl. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again.